Phase 1. Accounting. Account.
Cuenta.
An arrangement with a bank to keep your money there and to allow you to take it out when you need to.
Ejemplo.
I opened a new account at the bank near my house. Amortization.
Amortización.
Depreciation. Decrease. Reduce or pay off a debt with regular payments.
Ejemplo.
Shell and a transportation company will meet to discuss higher amortization rules. Amount.
Monto de deuda.
Quantity. Sum.
Ejemplo.
The amount of importations has increased with the free trade agreement. Assets.
Activos.
Economic resources owned or controlled by an entity.
Ejemplo.
The company's accountant is going to keep an eye on the assets himself. Balance sheet.
Balance general.
Financial record showing the current balance of an account.
Ejemplo.
The balance sheet usually helps companies to evaluate financial strengths and weaknesses. Bankruptcy.
Bancarrota.
State of losing property to one's creditors due to unpaid debts. Inability to pay all your debts as they come due.
Ejemplo.
The owner of the company had to admit that he had filed for bankruptcy. Borrowing.
Préstamo.
The act of taking and using money from a person or bank under agreement to pay it back later.
Ejemplo.
It is necessary for Susan to obtain a borrowing in order to buy the house. Budget.
Presupuesto.
The amount of money needed or available for a purpose.
Ejemplo.
The accountant hasn't calculated the company's budget yet. Cash balance.
Saldo de caja.
Financial plan.
Ejemplo.
Every cash balance ought to be checked by the end of the week. Cash book.
Libro de caja.
Book containing records of cash transactions.
Ejemplo.
Mr. Phillips appointed a new person the management of the cash book. Debt.
Deuda.
Obligation. Something owed, as in money.
Ejemplo.
The company's debts have been increasing this year. Dividends.
Dividendos.
Bonus. Reward. Portion of profits. Share of anything divided.
Ejemplo.
It is necessary to know the company's report and pay dividends for buying stocks. Factory price.
Precio de fábrica.
Price charged for goods picked up at the factory.
Ejemplo.
The laptops are still being sold at factory price. Fiscal year.
Año fiscal.
A 12-month accounting period.
Ejemplo.
The state of Illinois entered a new fiscal year without an operational budget. Fiscal policy.
Política fiscal.
The deliberate use of taxes and government spending to regulate economic activity.
Ejemplo.
The new government needs to change the rules for their fiscal policy. Earned income.
Ingreso ganado.
Amount of money that a person earns by working.
Ejemplo.
The earned income may vary according to different types of labor. Estimate.
Estimado.
An assessment of the worth of something or someone.
Ejemplo.
A free online tool is creating price estimates for woodworking projects. Exchange.
Intercambiar. Intercambio.
Give one thing in return for another. Replace one thing with another. Trade.
Ejemplo,
Russian exchanges would shoot up another 30% by the end of the year. Checking account.
cuenta de cheques.
Bank account in which one can draw money in checks.
Ejemplo,
All in all, checking accounts require a high minimum amount to open. Debit.
cargar a la cuenta. Débito.
Charge with a debt. A payment made or owed.
Ejemplo,
My sister doesn't know how to get a debit card. Forecast.
proyección.
An entity's expected financial position.
Ejemplo,
The government ought to release a new economic and financial forecast for Australia. General ledger.
libro general de contabilidad.
Book containing all assets, liabilities, owner's equity, revenues, and expense accounts.
Ejemplo,
The general ledger can include cash basis and financial reporting. Gross income.
ingreso bruto.
Total income before taxes and other deductions are taken out.
Ejemplo,
The gross income includes incomes from any source. Gross domestic product, GDP,
Producto Interno Bruto, PIB.
refers to the market value of all final goods and services produced within a country in a given period.
Ejemplo,
Some countries invest a higher percentage of their GDP in war rather than in education. Historical cost
costo inicial, precio de compra.
is the original monetary value of an economic item.
Ejemplo,
As a last resort, the historical cost of the fabrics must be increased. Income,
ingresos.
amount of money received in payment for goods or services or from other sources.
Ejemplo,
Paul could receive a better income next year. Insolvent,
insolvente.
bankrupt, impoverished, unable to pay one's debts.
Ejemplo,
My cousin's husband has declared himself insolvent. Investment,
inversión.
laying out money or capital in something with the expectation of profit.
Ejemplo,
The company hopes to make a pretty good investment in new equipment. Invoice,
factura.
list of purchased goods or services provided, which includes the individual costs and the total charge.
Ejemplo,
Although the vendor gave the invoice to the customer, he didn't take it with him. Jeopardy,
peligro. Riesgo.
danger, hazard, risk, a possibility of losing money.
Ejemplo,
Neither the banks nor the insurance companies were in jeopardy. Journal,
diario.
daily record of financial transactions.
Ejemplo,
The journal's primary objective is to stimulate research in accounting. Junk bonds,
bonos basura.
certificates of financial obligation from a company whose financial status is unstable.
Ejemplo,
Junk bonds may tend to be more volatile. Kiting,
alteración fraudulenta de cheques.
writing checks with insufficient funds to cover them.
Ejemplo,
The company's accountant found out that some employees committed kiting. Letter of credit,
carta de crédito.
any book of accounts containing the summaries of debit and credit entries.
Ejemplo,
The cost of a letter of credit had tripled for buyers in China during 2005. Liquidation,
liquidación.
termination of a business operation by using its assets to pay its liabilities.
Ejemplo,
Mr. Patterson's company is going to start a liquidation process. Loss,
pérdida.
when a business spends more money than it earns.
Ejemplo,
Some industries suffered astonishing losses last year. Margin,
depósito de garantía. Margen,
the difference between the cost and the selling price of securities and commodities.
ejemplo,
Dentists were going to post the highest profit margin in 2008. Mortgage,
hipoteca. Crédito hipotecario.
a legal agreement by which a bank, building society, etc., lends money at interest in exchange for taking title of the debtor's property.
Ejemplo,
We should pay the mortgage as soon as possible so that we don't lose our property. Net sales,
ventas netas.
the amount of sales generated by a company after the deduction of returns, allowances for damaged or missing goods, and any discounts allowed.
Ejemplo,
It is expected companies to report an increase in net sales by 11.2%. Objective,
objetivo.
a written statement that challenges the organization to achieve the desired goals.
Ejemplo,
Goals are general in nature, while objectives are specific, measurable, and time-based. Ordinary income,
ingreso corriente.
an income from wages, salaries, tips, commissions, bonuses, and other types of compensation.
Ejemplo,
One way to make an ordinary income is to get a standard job and work 40 hours a week. Overheads,
gastos operativos generales.
operating costs, fixed costs, expenses.
Ejemplo,
Salaries are not considered as overheads. Paid-in capital,
capital integrado.
capital received from investors for stock.
Ejemplo,
Why is it important to keep paid-in capital separate from earned income? Partnership,
sociedad.
an unincorporated business that has more than one owner.
Ejemplo,
Unlike partnership, proprietorship can have only one owner. Payment in kind, PIK,
pago en especie.
payback of similar nature, payment in commodities and not money.
Ejemplo,
Payment in kind normally suggests that the payer has cash flow problems. Payroll,
planilla, nómina.
a list of a company's employees and the amount of money they are to be paid.
Ejemplo,
The mission of the payroll department is to ensure that all employees are paid accurately and timely. Petty cash,
caja menor. Efectivo para gastos menores.
small expenses, cash funds for incidentals.
Ejemplo,
Set up a petty cash fund if you need cash on hand to pay miscellaneous expenses of your business. Pre-tax profit,
utilidad bruta.
earnings for the period before all tax adjustments.
Ejemplo,
The First National Bank posted a pre-tax profit of $5.41 million for the first half of the year. Rate,
tasa. Índice.
a fixed price paid or changed for something.
Ejemplo,
The exchange rates between two currencies specifies how much one is worth in terms of the other. Refund,
reembolso. Reembolsar.
a guarantee that if a buyer is not satisfied with a product or service, he or she will be given his or her money back.
Ejemplo,
The Hartford Group has agreed to issue $48 million in refunds to some companies in Florida. Reimbursement,
reembolso. Reintegro.
to pay back to someone. Example, to pay an employee for travel expenses that were paid by the employee out of their own personal funds.
Ejemplo,
The reimbursement can be of many types like daycare, transport, or medical expense. Revenue,
Renta, ingresos.
the gross income from a business enterprise, investment, property, etc.
Ejemplo,
In the UK, revenue is referred to as turnover. Royalty,
comisión, regalía.
payment for the right to use intellectual property or natural resources.
Ejemplo,
The franchise relationships may not assign royalty payments to the trademark license. Savings account,
cuenta de ahorros.
a bank account that accumulates interest.
Ejemplo,
The passbook is the traditional document to keep track of earnings in a savings account. Seed money,
capital de trabajo.
money used to pay for operations as market research and product development when starting a business.
Ejemplo,
Seed money can be invested until the business is able to continue funding itself. Statement,
estado de cuenta, estados contables.
formal records of a business's financial activities.
Ejemplo,
A financial statement includes an income statement, cash flow, and a balance sheet. Surcharge,
recargo.
an additional charge added on to some charge.
Ejemplo,
More financial institutions apparently are offering surcharge-free ATM access to debit card holders. T account,
cuenta T.
using two perpendicular lines that look like the capital letter T to represent an account of any title.
Ejemplo,
A T account is a fundamental analytical tool that accountants use to analyze business transactions. Tariff,
arancel aduanero.
a tax on imports or exports.
Ejemplo,
Tariffs are an important source of revenue for a country. Tender,
ofertar, licitar.
to offer a product for sale at a specified price.
Ejemplo,
The tender is usually announced in a newspaper advertisement when it is public. Term loan,
préstamo de término.
loan for a fixed period of time that is repaid in full at the end of the term.
Ejemplo,
Short-term loans provide the benefits of getting your cash deposited in 2 hours. Unfunded,
sin fondos, no financiado.
not having funding, not financed.
Ejemplo,
The article asks whether research which receives support is more cited than unfunded research. Value,
valor, valorizar.
a term that defines the worth of a thing.
Ejemplo,
Value is the relationship between the consumer's expectations of a product to the amount paid for it. Variance,
diferencia.
the difference between a projected number and the actual number.
Ejemplo,
A budget variance is spending either more or less from the amount that was budgeted. Vendor,
vendedor, distribuidor.
salesman, supplier.
Ejemplo,
You might need to return an item to a vendor if you find that it is not what you expected or needed. Venture,
proyecto de riesgo, arriesgar.
an investment that is very risky but could produce great profits.
Ejemplo,
Like any business that expects to succeed, your joint venture needs to have a plan. Voucher,
comprobante, recibo.
certificate that bears monetary value. Coupon, receipt, authorizer, endorser.
Ejemplo,
A voucher is produced usually after receiving a vendor invoice. Wage,
salario, remuneración.
actual remuneration paid to an employee for his or her services.
Ejemplo,
A minimum wage is the lowest hourly, daily, or monthly wage that employers must pay to employees. Worksheet,
hoja de trabajo.
a computerized page that allows the user to manipulate many columns and rows of numbers.
Ejemplo,
A worksheet developing strategy was employed to administer some companies. Year end,
cierre de ejercicio.
taking place at the close of a fiscal year.
Ejemplo,
The article must provide illustrations of year end accounting entries for clearing funds.